Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 25 of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. 25 parts in. Hard to believe we made it this far. But we're going to have to go through the inverse clock tower to get out of this place, and also to get a nifty health upgrade. And, yeah, so we're going to start with that. Here's the lightning mail, which helps protect against lightning, but I don't think it's good for much else. Let's see. The lightning mail lowers your defense here, so we don't need that. We may want to use it against that one boss, the guy who's like the hardest in the game, the giant robot guy. You know what I'm talking about. That guy. We may want to use it against him. But we probably won't need to by that point, though, because we're going to get the chrysogram here, you know? So that's going to make this a lot easier. Anyway, you'll also notice that transformations in the Inverse Castle are necessary because a lot of this stuff is just not well level designed. You know, it's broken level design, you know, through and through. You can make the best of it, or you can, you know, succumb to how terrible it is. It's just going to be a matter of time before you notice, hey, this really was not intentional from the time they started designing this game, and by the time they stuck in, you know, some of these features, this stuff was not just the plan, it seems. So it seems like this was mostly just stuck in last minute to extend the game time, you know, and they didn't really adjust for the platforming related to it. So here's our first boss, who's going to hold, you know, some of the one of our first pieces of Dracula, basically. So we need to defeat him, you know, and we already did. Not all of the inverse castle is difficult, guys, you know? Okay, there we go. So we got a little bit of our health up, and we got, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, so this area. I should swap these around quick. I'm going to try to keep them around for a minute, so, because I'm going to need to use this spell a number of times more. Because enemies in the inverted castle are a little bit obnoxious and terrible. By a little bit, I mean a lot. They suck. So, you don't really need any of this stuff, but you can gather it if you want to from breaking a few of these walls. Yeah. So the bomb guys here, for example, these guys suck. You know, they just really do a lot of damage, and they're pretty hard to kill if you don't use the right weapons for it. So the shield rod and iron shield make a pretty great combination, as you guys know already. Let's go over here though. See what we got here. We have the moon rod, I believe, which can't really remember what this thing does, but it's something useful. Also got to remember where the sunstone is, because we're eventually going to run out with our moonstone, you know? So you're going to need the sunstone at some point, most likely, but I just, for the life of me, like, rarely remember where it is. Ah, see that? See that damage? That 42 points of damage, you know? That's the problem with the game here. You notice we're taking just a lot of damage in this section, and so that's all going to be fixed once we get the, you know, there are ways to get past it, clearly, so it's not too much of a concern, and this is where Mist really is the best, okay? So if you're worried about spikes and you're worried about, you know, enemies and stuff like that, use the Mist, okay? Because, so this guy, for example, can't do much of anything, so he's not a threat to anybody, is he? And watch that. Bam, he's gone. Anyway, use Mist as much as possible if you need to get through this section, because I understand that it can be terrible. You know, I really understand that. Oh, man. Okay, see what I'm saying? That kind of damage. We're already in the 100s, and we don't need that for the inverse clock tower at all. So, you may be better off going back, but I think we can make it successfully. So you can kill a few of these guys for some free, you know, XP. Because, like, look at how, you know, hard it is for them to do anything. Look how many level ups you're getting off of them, too. You know, it's so much. So, you really want those level ups in this game, because you really are going to need them in this section. Anyway, if you want to do, you can do it like this. You can farm this guy a little bit. This one dude who's, like, right here. You can just farm him, like, a few times if you want to do that. Which, I think we can do that. We'll farm him once or twice. Yeah, well, once is good enough, I think. But what we really need is we need some food. So let's pull out some food here. I'm first going to turn on this, which improves the heal item power, okay? And then we're going to eat a little bit of food. So Alucard can eat a variety of foods. Let's see what we got. We got some cheese, so let's see how much we can get for cheese. Okay, ready? 18. 18. That's not too great. Maybe would have been better off with something better than cheese. Frankfurters are also pretty low. Turkeys are pretty good, so let's have a turkey. Okay, our health's back in the 200s and everything. Let's get back our main weapon for this section. Though at this point we can drop back to the Holy Rod here, and we can get the Jeweled Knuckles back. Somewhere around here, right? That's the thing about having so many things in your inventory. You start to get lost with where everything's at. Thought I saw the icon. Yeah, they are. Jeweled Knuckles. Okay. Okay, here we go. So the inverse clock tower sucks about as much as you might expect. We need to quickly walk through this section here. I like to just use the transformations as much as possible, particularly your... so we need the Mystic Pendant back on for sure. But I like to use Mist through a lot of the Inverted Castle till we can get to the Alucard Shield, because trying to beat all these enemies is just a freaking impossible kind of task. I mean, look at these guys. They're just, like, ridiculous. So we're going to fly up here. We're just going to, you know, grab the max life up. These guys also respawn, so they wanted to be even more jerks about it. They're always respawning. Look at them, already back. So as much as you can afford to get away with using Mist, I try to do it. You know, it's it can be a real lifesaver in this game because your other transformations can get messed with. They can get killed, you know, but Mist, they can't do any damage while you're in Mist form. So until we get the Alucard Shield, basically, I like to keep it in Mist. And once we get the Alucard Shield, we'll get the you know, Chrysogram there, and that's really going to help. So here's the inverse clock tower, and look at this place. We have enemies everywhere, we have Medusa heads everywhere, and for the longest time I didn't realize I could just mist my way through this entire area, you know? But guess what? You totally can. So this one, though, it doesn't really matter as much because all you gotta do is fall, you know? And all the enemies want you to do is fall. So, so it is just a nightmare if you're trying to do this place without using the Mist transformation. I'm glad I realized recently I could do this, because for the longest time I didn't know I could do that. And so that was a pain. A real, real pain. I think this area is aligned... Oh, it's these guys. Okay. Let's just teleport over here, and blast, blast. Fire, fire. Die, die. Okay, let's use the bat here. Because we can wing smash our way through these guys. If I can get my combo correct. Come on, I can get you. Come back here. There we go. Little XP always helps, right? Anyway, you'll also notice the inverse castle is just full of a ton of level ups. So we need the dragon helmet, which is, or the dragon helm, whatever it's called. And this is going to really, really help us, like, a lot. Okay, so, let's find where that goes. It's over here. So the Dragon Helm, you'll notice it increases quite a few stats. It's going to decrease our intelligence a little bit, which is a little bit irritating, but it's increasing so many of our stats that it's overall worth it. And it frightens enemies and lowers enemy defenses. Basically, it makes the enemies easier. So that makes this a very useful upgrade. We really need it for a lot of the the inverted castle. Inverse castle, inverted castle, whatever. It's just a mess overall. So we're just going to be going for the bosses and the relics as, you know, not necessarily fast as possible. We may decide to change our minds and go for map completion later, but I highly doubt it. First thing I recommend doing, though, is saving, because you made it through, like, one of the hardest sections of the inverted castle, and so you really need to get a save here. And yeah, that's about it for this walkthrough part. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our use of the Mist transformation. Believe me, you'll see a lot more of it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with the next video. Stay tuned.